자, 안녕하세요, 여러분. 오늘 라이브를 키게 된 이유 중에 하나가 아이온큐가 스카이워터 테크놀로지라는 회사를 인수를 했는데요. 사실 이 회사는 제가 매수를 하려고 공부를 해오고 있었던 기업 중 하나입니다. 그래서 이 회사가 특수 반도체를 미국 내부에서 생산하는 그런 파운드리, 그 미국 내부에 있는 유일한 파운드리 업체인데 이 회사가 이제 D-Wave나 사이퀀텀 같은 다른 양자 회사들을 고객사로 두고 있어요. 근데 이 회사가 아이온큐에 의해 인수가 된 거죠. 그래서 지금 저도 지금 정리하면서 공부하고 있는데 18억 불, 굉장히 뭐 커 보이는 돈이긴 한데 이 회사가 내고 있는 매출 자체가 워낙에 큽니다. 올해 예상 매출이 4억 불이 넘는 기업이기 때문에 아마 현금으로 아이온큐가 둘 바에는 이거 수직 통합을 시켜서 우리가 뽕을 뽑겠다 이런 식으로 가는 것 같아요. 그래서 아이온큐가 또 머리를 굉장히 잘 쓴 것 같고요. 네, 그래서 이제 수직 통합이 됐습니다. 이제 생산할 수 있는 라인도 생겼고 이 스카이워터가 이제 미국 내부에서도 민감한 국방용 장비들 반도체를 만들 수 있는 허가를 가지고 있기 때문에 아이온큐가 본격적으로 이제 미국 정부가 밀어주는 양자 기업이 되고 있구나라는 거를 확신할 수 있는 그런 소식이다라고 저는 생각을 해요. 그래서 좀 더 깊은 것들은 제가 좀 정리를 해서 내일 영상으로 공유 드리겠지만 일단 아이온큐와 스카이와터 측에서 이번 인수에 대해서 좀 공식 발표도 하고 설명을 드리겠다라고 해서 10시 반부터 라이브를 한다고 하니까 우리가 한번 들어보면서 제가 실시간 번역을 진행을 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's conference call to discuss IonQ's transaction with SkyWater Technology. Presenters on today's call include Niccolo de Masi, Chairman and CEO of IonQ, and Thomas Sonderman, CEO of SkyWater. Also on today's call is Hanley D'Onofrio, Head of Investor Relations at IonQ. As a reminder, this call is being recorded, and a press release and slide presentation regarding today's news are available on the Investor Relations section of each company's website. I would now like to hand the conference over to Niccolo de Masi, Chairman and CEO of IonQ. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and welcome to the call. I'm excited to be here today to talk about this transformational transaction. Following our presentation, we will answer some questions that have been submitted in advance. Today, we'll be discussing the rationale and benefits of this truly historic transaction. We will address forward-looking financial matters as we get closer to approvals and closing. To begin with, I do want to highlight that IonQ expects to deliver revenue results at the high end or above the range of our previously announced full-year guidance. More to come when we announce earnings. Today, our focus is the SkyWater transaction, which we believe will accelerate fault-tolerant quantum computing and further cement IonQ as the leading provider of this critical technology. Page 2, you can read the content of our forward-looking statements. They're also available on our website where this presentation has been posted. Turning now to slide 3. I am joined today by Thomas Sonderman, CEO at SkyWater Technology. For those of you who are new to IonQ, we are the world's leading quantum platform company. IonQ delivers solutions for quantum computing, quantum networking, quantum sensing, and quantum security, which makes us the only full-stack quantum platform company in the world. We work each day to advance our technology to solve the world's most complex problems for global customers, all powered by our highly talented engineering team. We're excited about becoming vertically integrated with SkyWater, bringing end-to-end innovation, engineering, manufacturing, and deployment of our quantum solutions. This is the beginning of an exciting new chapter as we continue to deliver for our customers while unlocking long-term shareholder value. I'll turn it over to Thomas to introduce himself and SkyWater.
Thanks, Niccolo. Great to be here with you today. As mentioned, I'm Thomas Sonderman, CEO at SkyWater Technology. SkyWater is the largest U.S.-based pure-play semiconductor foundry, a Category 1A trusted foundry with DMEA accreditation. We specialize in foundational nodes and advanced packaging to support the nation's critical infrastructure and emerging quantum technologies. Joining forces with IonQ will accelerate multiple engineering pathways for next-generation quantum chips. I'm excited to be here today to discuss this transformational transaction that marks a pivotal moment in SkyWater's evolution. I'll hand it back over to Niccolo to talk more about the transaction.
All right, moving to slide 4. As I mentioned, acquiring SkyWater will create a fully vertically integrated U.S.-based quantum platform. It will accelerate innovation and ensure we have the secure manufacturing capacity that will be required by our customers. SkyWater's world-class onshore engineering and manufacturing strength will enhance U.S. security and competitiveness while creating long-term shareholder value. The transaction is valued at $1.8 billion, a mix of cash and stock consideration, subject to a collar and cap. SkyWater will operate as a wholly owned subsidiary, meaning that in addition to integrating with IonQ, SkyWater will continue to work as a merchant supplier to the industry, ensuring they continue to deliver for both new and existing customers. Thomas will tell you more about that later. To answer the question, why this transaction, we have to look at where IonQ is today. Our business has evolved quickly from just quantum computing to today's full-stack platform of quantum computing, quantum networking, quantum sensing, and quantum security. We are now at the stage where we have line of sight to scaling to millions of qubits based on a semiconductor architecture and electronics qubit control, which means achieving those goals is primarily a matter of semiconductor engineering. As the reality of a quantum world sets in, these technologies are increasingly viewed as critical strategic infrastructure to commercial enterprises and nation states. This means the next leg of growth, there's need for not only rapid innovation, but doing so at the highest levels of security. SkyWater is a unique company built exactly around these principles: rapid innovation and production with the highest level of securities. SkyWater brings IonQ highly specialized, technology-driven foundry capacity that meets the needs of quantum more than any other fab out there. It brings us the ability to do advanced semiconductor development through rapid iteration, experimentation, and parallelization. And SkyWater brings onshore accredited semiconductor fabrication and packaging facilities that meet the highest security requirements of customers like the US government, our allies, and partners. I've said many times before, and I'll say it again today, the future of quantum is now, and this deal brings it into focus. As the only vertically integrated full-stack quantum platform company, we expect to significantly advance our strategic initiatives and support our partners worldwide. I'll dive into the points you see on the screen in just a moment, but the main takeaway is that with SkyWater, we'll be able to accelerate our fault-tolerant quantum computing roadmap and solidify our position at the forefront of commercial quantum advantage with practical, scalable quantum solutions and applications. To make this happen, we'll be bringing together our two incredibly talented teams and leveraging our shared capabilities. I'll hand it over to Thomas to share his perspective now.
Thanks, Niccolo. This is a transformational transaction for our industry that will benefit our teams and customers, both company shareholders, and our other stakeholders. Under IonQ, SkyWater will build on its standing as the largest exclusively US-based quantum native foundry. What I want to emphasize is how we fit into IonQ and why this is a match. SkyWater isn't just a foundry. What differentiates us is our technology as a service operating model. It supports volume production and high mix, advanced technologies, as well as foundational node wafer manufacturing, emerging technology co-innovation, and advanced packaging. In addition, this model enables massive parallel development, enriching learning and compounding innovation across chip generations. We expect to apply this distinctive model to IonQ's leading quantum technologies and deliver heightened speed, precision, and scale for next-generation quantum chips. By embedding IonQ's engineering with SkyWater's leading capabilities in parallel innovation and manufacturing, we can achieve greater learning per design, build, and test cycle, and be the leader of quantum advantage in the U.S. Our DOW trusted accreditation also brings immense strategic relevance to IonQ's federal business, and we look forward to continuing to support national security matters in an even larger and more impactful way. I'd like to highlight that this transaction is incredibly beneficial to our shareholders. Longer term, the combined company has the potential to unlock broader synergies across multiple product categories, requiring both custom and commodity semiconductors. Given the equity consideration, shareholders will have the opportunity to participate in the combined company's upside potential through ownership of IonQ shares. And last but certainly not least is the why IonQ story. This transaction delivers all these benefits while also allowing us to continue meeting and exceeding the needs of our existing customers. As Niccolo noted before, with IonQ, SkyWater remains fully committed to all of our semiconductor foundry customers and will continue as the quantum merchant supplier of choice as a wholly owned subsidiary with open access. We have a broad customer base across aerospace and defense, auto, and quantum. Foundry integrity will remain the same. There will be no changes to customer access or IP protections. So to sum up, SkyWater and IonQ together will drive the ability to deploy quantum technology for mission-critical applications in business, government, and society. I'd like to thank the talented teams at both SkyWater and IonQ for all they have done to get us here. What we have done separately is incredible, and what we will do together is even more powerful. I'll turn the call back over to Niccolo.
Thank you, Thomas. Turning now to slide 8 and how SkyWater fits into IonQ. What's truly unique about IonQ is that we're the only quantum company that has already achieved our target fidelity. This means there is no more research breakthroughs required to scale up to fault tolerance. It's just engineering. And in our case, it's semiconductor engineering. Our path to scale runs cleanly through semiconductor engineering, which is a result of our electronic qubit control technology. Because our path to scale is based primarily on semiconductor engineering, IonQ is at the stage where embedded access to a trusted foundry is necessary to continue on our rapid path forward. Bringing SkyWater closer will accelerate our already industry-leading roadmap. We will unlock increased wafer runs, meaning faster iteration cycles. We can also start running multiple generational prototypes in parallel, applying new learnings immediately to improve future milestones. As a result of this, we expect to see a very significant reduction in total cycle times from design to production. For example, we will reduce the time from design completion to first samples on our 256 qubit chip from 9 months to 2 months. And more importantly, we will now be able to functionally test the first 200,000 qubit chip samples in 2028, which enable 8,000 ultra-high fidelity logical qubits and pull forward our previously communicated timelines. With this transformational acquisition, IonQ will be able to increase both the frequency and velocity of its R&D wafer spins in parallel. On slide 10, you can see our existing public roadmap. Starting with our 200,000 qubit chip, you can see the materially positive impact we expect SkyWater to have on our timelines. We now expect to have the first 200,000 qubit chips back from the fab in 2028. This means we can start running real functional tests and producing data of real performance. At this point, there will be little doubt left that full fault-tolerant computing is here and that IonQ leads the pack, both in time and cost. This transaction will also enable us to pull forward our 2 million qubit chip by up to a year. One of the key components of this combination is the full integration of the quantum lifecycle. We've spoken before about how our architecture enables lower cost per unit. With SkyWater, we expect to have industry-leading costs at scale. We will continue to lead the market not only in terms of performance, but also in price. History shows how computing battles are won along vectors of miniaturization and cost per unit output. We will now also have the full product lifecycle under one roof, from design and prototype, manufacture and package, to deployment and service updates. There are many examples across the industry of such vertical integration leading to a sustained advantage in innovation and economics. Tesla is perhaps the most powerful example of this over the past decade. With facilities entirely within the U.S., the combined company will be an end-to-end U.S. supplier of mission-critical quantum infrastructure. SkyWater adds the final piece, semiconductors, to IonQ's existing U.S.-based manufacturing. We believe we will be the only completely U.S.-owned and U.S.-operated provider of these quantum technologies so critical to our nation's future. Each phase of the manufacturing process is represented by the combined company facilities in Maryland, Washington State, Minnesota, Florida, Texas, and Colorado. We believe deeply in the future of U.S. critical infrastructure and sovereign supply chains. The combined company will support current and future critical initiatives of the U.S. our allies, and partners. We have a world-class team of experts and are excited to add Thomas and his team to IonQ. All of this bolsters the initiatives we began when we introduced IonQ Federal last year, and we expect IonQ will be positioned as a central quantum computing, quantum networking, quantum security, and quantum sensing provider for the U.S. government, our allies, and partners. On page 14, you can see this transaction builds on those we've done to date. Over the last few years, we have deliberately and strategically added capabilities to our platform. Our acquisition of SkyWater gives IonQ true vertical integration across quantum computing, quantum networking, quantum security, and quantum sensing technologies for land, sea, air, and space. We are confident that uniting our revolutionary quantum platform with SkyWater's leading capabilities, particularly in parallel innovation, engineering, and manufacturing, will accelerate America's ability to deploy quantum technologies where they're needed most, keeping our focus on advancing the frontiers of quantum technology for business, government, and society, while creating enduring value for our shareholders. So on page 15, to sum up for today, our goal remains to serve the market as the preeminent global quantum platform leader, supported by our integrated product lifestyle and end-to-end design, manufacturing, and delivery of secure quantum solutions. As we look ahead, we remain focused on revenue growth and capturing additional market share, which we are confident will drive our margin expansion over the long term. Together, we truly will be the winning quantum platform. We'll now take some time to answer the questions you've submitted.
Great. Thank you, Niccolo, and thank you to everyone who has submitted questions today. As a reminder, we can only answer strategic and non-financial questions on this call. We look forward to sharing our financial results at our upcoming full year 2025 earnings call. The first question comes from Troy Jensen at Cantor Fitzgerald. Niccolo, can you explain how this acquisition accelerates your product development roadmap by an entire year?
Absolutely. So let's have a look at slide 9. We talked through this during our prepared remarks, but fundamentally, we are at the stage whereby the more we can do in parallel across our product life cycles and generations, the faster we can move forward that innovation. And so we talked about reducing cycle time on our 256-qubit chip, for example, from 9 months to 2 months. The same thing will philosophically occur for every life cycle product beyond the 256 chip, the 10K chip, the 100K, the 200K, the 1 million, and the 2 million. And so when I talked about greater velocity and greater frequency of wafer spins, what we're talking about is doing more in parallel with more lines and getting through each exploration of engineering pathway faster. And so we're able to explore more in parallel and actually make sure that the cycle of each exploration is faster. As a result, you can see quite powerfully on page 10 that we can bring in innovation more, actually the further out that it was on our initial roadmap. So initially, we assumed last year when we rolled out this roadmap that we would be merely a commercial partner of a industry-leading fab such as SkyWater. With this tight integration, we're able to move faster, which benefits what we're doing in 27, 28, 29, and 30, even more than what we can achieve in 26. Thomas, please feel free to chime in if you'd like to add anything from your perspective.
No, you did well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next question.
We have a follow-up question from Troy for Thomas. Can you update us on SkyWater's vertical exposure? Do you have any 10% customers or customer concentration?
So Infineon Technologies is our largest customer, and that resulted from the transaction we did last year, acquiring their fab in Austin, Texas. They will continue to be a critical customer for SkyWater going forward as we operate as a full-service foundry. So other than that, we are pretty much operating our normal foundry business with many customers, and again, Infineon being the largest of those customers.
Thank you. We have a question from John McPeak of Rosenblatt. What parts can be made by SkyWater for the IonQ quantum computer machine? Will that be just the foundry or packaging? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it'll be everything. Well, let's both tackle this one, Thomas. And we covered, I think, on a number of our slides what we're doing, but it's absolutely not just accelerating design work for us and implementation, but as we mentioned, it's packaging, it's manufacturing, and it's really the speed up of, I'd say, the translation from prototype into mass manufacturing throughout our whole roadmap. But Thomas, please do provide some details from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits of SkyWater's model is that we embed development into our high volume manufacturing operation, and that creates an outcome where the technology is enabled by the design in a way that can be highly manufacturable. And so this unique model that we created is very much aligned with IonQ's needs as they build up their quantum technology portfolio, and the ability to do the rapid hyper innovation that Niccolo referenced is really one of the outcomes we get from this partnership.
Thank you. Next question comes from Krish Sankar of TD Securities. Do you plan on being a merchant supplier to other quantum companies? How will the deals with existing quantum customers at SkyWater evolve?
All right, I think we can both tackle that one.
Yeah, go ahead. You start.
I was just say, look, IonQ already is a merchant supplier. It's not that well known, but we've talked about it on prior earnings calls. We supply the world's most accurate atomic clocks to a number of quantum computing and quantum industry players. Also, our quantum networking business, which is obviously focused on both long-distance communication, but also photonic interconnects to tightly couple quantum computers as they scale to full fault tolerance. That architecture has also been designed for all firms to take advantage. So it'll be multimodal, and it's obviously industry leading and based out of our LightSync office in Boston. So as Tom and I started talking about synergies and vision, this is very much at the core of what we're looking to accentuate and make 1 + 1 = 30, as I like to say.
Yeah, and just to add, one of the things that is unique about this combination is that SkyWater has an existing foundry business. We have created the compartmentalization, the protocols, the IP protections that will allow our customers to continue to operate within our foundry model. This combination doesn't detract from that. It enhances it because now we will have an ability to drive the very close interaction that this stage of quantum technology evolution requires, that at a pace that will be very important for our country, our allies, and our partners, but at the same time offer the capabilities that we've established as a pure play foundry to our existing customers, and we hope many other new customers to come. That capability of a highly functional foundry model is something that we're very proud of at SkyWater, and IP protection is essential to a foundry business, and none of that will be jeopardized as we go forward.
Thank you. The next question comes from Quinn Bolton of Needham & Co. Is IonQ an existing customer of SkyWater, and will IonQ move its manufacturing to SkyWater after the transaction close? Who approached whom, and how did this deal come about?
Well, I'm happy to start, and then Thomas, please chime in.
Yes.
Since we closed our acquisition of Oxford Ionics, obviously top of mind for IonQ has been how do we actually accelerate and scale our electronic qubit control. There have been plenty of explorations with a number of partners on a global basis. However, it became very obvious to our team last fall that SkyWater's capabilities, as Tom just outlined, are a perfect fit. It's not just that they have the 200 millimeter wafer leadership, but it's that they specifically focus on R&D and packaging intensive partnerships, which may not have yet the volume of some chips out there, but nevertheless are extremely pioneering, forward-looking, and incredibly security sensitive. Tom and I, started talking about a commercial partnership last fall that evolved over time to a strategic partnership in various forms. And as we shared our combined visions of where we wanted to take our companies, we realized that there were more and more synergies than we could perhaps initially thought. And so we're delighted with this merger and partnership. It brings us not only acceleration of our computing roadmap, but actually brings us acceleration of our full quantum platform, because we have needs from SkyWater across our quantum networking, sensing, security, operations under the ocean, on top of the ocean, on land, sea, air, and SkyWater will support and accelerate all of that. It also allows us, as Tom just eloquently laid out, to grow our merchant supplier business, which is already in existence at IonQ, and Tom will be leading the charge on a combined basis for all of our merchant supplier activities. Last but not least, we are a proud U.S. company based here, listed here, and our supply chain is now the most secure in the world, both physically and from a cyber perspective, and it's entirely domestic. And we're deeply proud of that. We're deeply proud of our ability to support the U.S. quantum industry and what we believe is the most important, quote unquote, space race of our generation. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I just absolutely agree with everything you just said. The one thing that became apparent as our team started engaging is the ability to move faster. When you think about the fabless foundry model that's evolved really over the last 30 years, it's come at a stage where we're in kind of, we'll call it the classical computing realm. We're now moving into the AI/quantum computing realm, and the quantum computing capability is something that requires that very tight interaction between design process and development, and the ability to get that development going in a way where you can get those technologies to be highly manufacturable. So as we work through what was going to be the best path to achieve the outcome that IonQ was looking for, as well as continue to grow and scale SkyWater's pure play foundry business, linking us together in an integrated fashion as one company became the obvious choice. And we were just super excited that our teams came together, our boards came together, and we're going to transform what this country is doing in the quantum space as a result of this combination.
Thank you. The last question before we close out the call is for Niccolo. Can you talk a bit more about how you'll be integrating the businesses and what that timeline looks like?
Sure. So upon close, SkyWater will operate as a wholly owned subsidiary under the SkyWater name. Thomas Sonderman will lead the subsidiary and report to me, which will ensure the continued delivery of industry-leading advanced technology services, wafer services, and advanced packaging services, as well as the atomic clocks and quantum interconnects to all SkyWater customers. Integration will be phased and pragmatic, ensuring continuity and deepening technical integration in the areas that matter most for roadmap acceleration. We have a proven playbook for integration and are confident that our dedicated integration teams will execute well to create value through this transaction. Beyond that, it'd be premature to provide more information about integration plans or timeline, but I want to once again say that we are very focused on providing the same fantastic service and level of focus that SkyWater has to all of their existing customers. And this transaction will enhance not only the merchant supplier capabilities on a combined basis, but enhance our ability to accelerate the entire U.S. quantum industry.
This concludes the Q&A portion of the call. Thank you to everyone for joining today. I will now pass it back to the operator to close out the call.
Thanks, everyone.
The conference is
Thanks.
now concluded. Thank you for attending.
자, 이제 끝났는데요. 뭐 특별한 얘기는 없었고, 어, 정리를 한번 해보면 일단은 중요한 게 그건 것 같아요. 기존 스카이워터가 뭐 사이퀀텀, 디웨이브 그리고 몇몇 초소형 양자 기업들 지원을 했었는데 그거는 딱히 변화되는 건 없다. 하지만 이제 스카이워터를 인수한 이유는 아이온큐가 기존 방식을 쓰다가 조금 딜레이가 됐죠. 그래서 옥스포드 이오닉스의 EQC라는 방식을 도입을 했는데 그거 역시 이제 아직 대량 생산이 되지 않은 기술이기 때문에 이걸 어떻게 우리가 제조 라인에 올려서 양산할 수 있을까 고민을 하다가 스카이워터라는 미국 내에 유일한 순수 파운드리 업체가 있는데 이 업체가 미 국방부에서도 최고 보안 등급을 받았기 때문에 딱 우리랑 맞는다. 그래서 서로 이해관계가 맞아서 이제 아이온큐가 이 회사랑 얘기를 작년 가을부터 하다가 결국에 인수합병 방향으로 갔다. 그래서 앞으로 다양한 세대 양자 컴퓨터들을 동시에 이 라인에서 설계하고 시제품 만들고 양산으로 갈 거기 때문에 병렬적으로 할 수 있다는 거죠. 기존에는 아이온큐 자체 랩에서 하나하나씩 해봤기 때문에 시간이 오래 걸렸는데 동시에 여러 세대를 할 수 있기 때문에 이게 엄청나게 혁신의 주기가 빨라진다. 그래서 기존에 올해 나오기로 했던 256 큐빗도 9달에서 2달로 줄일 것으로 예상이 되고 또 뒤쪽에 뭐 수십만, 수백만 큐빗 수준도 1년은 땡길 거다라고 해서 그래서 제가 오늘 올려드렸던 영상 보시면 니콜라 데마시가 다보스에서 뭐라고 했냐면은 앞으로 3년 트럼프 정권이 끝나기 전에 이 해킹을 할 수 있는 양자 컴퓨터를 아이온큐가 만들 수 있을 거다라고 했는데 그게 그 확신이 여기서 왔던 것 같아요. 그래서 정말 200만 큐빗, 뭐 논리적 큐빗이라는 고품질 큐빗이 뭐 10,000개 이상 단위로 올라가는 그 시점이 원래 2030년이었는데 그거를 1년 당겨서 스카이워터 때문에 1년 당겨서 2029년이라고 얘기를 했던 것 같습니다. 그래서 네. 굉장히 좋은 얘기들을 많이 하긴 했는데 뭐 실적으로 찍히는지 이게 또 가지고 있던 현금에서 꽤 큰 부분을 썼기 때문에 우리가 좀 지켜볼 필요가 있을 것 같고요. 그럼에도 이제 스카이워터가 아까 잠깐 우리가 봤는데 연매출이 올해 4억 불이 찍힐 것으로 기대가 돼요. 참고로 아이온큐 올해 목표 매출이 1억 불이 조금 넘습니다. 그러니까 아이온큐의 4배 사이즈 기업인데 이거를 인수했다는 것 자체를 저는 어떻게 해석하냐면은 이거 사실 인수합병 세계에서 말이 안 된다는 거예요. 그래서 저는 항상 생각해왔지만 아이온큐가 따로 주인이 보이지 않는데 이거는 아무래도 미국이 아이온큐를 좀 선택해서 키워주고 있는 것 같다라고 저는 생각을 해요. 그래서 뭐 스카이워터가 생산이나 이런 건 잘 하는데 이거를 주도할 만한 양자 기술 리더가 있어야 되는데 그거를 이제 미국 정부에서 니콜라 데마시라는 젊은 리더를 너가 가서 한번 해봐라고 해서 아이온큐를 손 꼽았다라고 생각을 합니다. 그래서 이제 이 작은 스타트업이 국가 핵심 인프라 얼굴이 되는 순간이다라고 저는 생각을 하고 있어서 뭐 아무리 생각해봐도 말이 안 되죠. 자기 덩치보다 4배 큰 회사를 산다는 거는 참 특이한 경우인데 사실은 시스코가 그런 식으로 커왔다고 합니다. 시스코가 그 현재까지 50개 넘는 기업을 인수했다고 해요. 그래서 아이온큐도 지금 8개인가 9개 인수했는데 굉장히 덩치가 커지면서 이제 미국 국방 쪽이나 동맹국들의 거대한 프로젝트를 따오기 위해서 기반을 깔아놨기 때문에 아마 이번 실적 발표 때 어떤 얘기를 할지가 기대가 되는데 일단 저는 지금 주가가 왔다 갔다 하고 있지만 상방으로 가지 않을까 이제 조심스럽게 생각을 해보고 있습니다. 그래서 지금 여기서 길을 모으고 있잖아요. 위아래로 만나서 조금 올라가면 뿅망치 맞고 내려오면 또 매수자들 올라와서 그래서 아마 이 어닝콜을 기점으로 다시 올라가서 뭐 낙관적으로는 올해 100불은 갈 수 있지 않을까 이렇게 생각하고 있는데 뭐 여러분들도 보셨겠지만 저도 어떻게 될지 모릅니다. 그래서 항상 같이 공부하면서 각자 판단해 보시고 굉장히 리스크가 큰 주식이기 때문에 우리가 몰빵하지 말고 분산해서 남들이 힘들어할 때 떨어질 때 사는 것이 좋겠다 이렇게 좀 말씀을 드립니다. 자, 그럼 오늘 라이브는 여기서 마치고요. 제가 내일 한 점심때까지 쭉 다시 정리를 해서 영상으로 업데이트 해드리도록 하겠습니다. 다 시간 늦은 시간인데 모두 고생하셨고요. 오늘도 평안한 밤 되시고 다음 라이브가 언제 될지 모르겠지만 그때 또 뵙도록